There are three parts of my book. Part one is an overview of emotional abuse: who does it and who gets abused and why. So it's just kind of an overview bit there. Part two is the biggest part of my book because it actually lists and explains the tactics of emotional abuse. What I found is that a lot of people coming into therapy, they were depressed or anxious. They were confused. They didn't feel good about themselves. And after questioning, what I discovered is that their partner was emotionally abusing them, but they didn't realize it. After realizing that people didn't realize the tactics that were being used against them, I wrote a book that spells out the tactics. I think I have about 65 or 70 in there, and some of them are have some subtle differences, but it's important to know the subtle differences because it's still abusive. And so I have about 65 or 70 tactics of emotional abuse. It has the definition, and it also has a story, a true story, a brief story that illustrates how that tactic is used in a romantic partnership, in an intimate partnership. And then I also have that same section also includes part two, also includes the effects of emotional abuse. I have about 30 effects. One of them is internalized criticism, feeling bad about yourself, thoughts that are implanted in your mind by your partner who's criticizing you. Self blame is another effect where you think, well, what's going on in my relationship? This must be because I'm not good enough in some way, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not whatever it is, not make enough money. So they blame themselves. Another one is self isolation. You feel so bad about yourself, you just start distancing yourself from family and friends. You just don't want to be around anybody because you're feeling depressed and you're not feeling good about yourself. Those are some of the kinds of effects that people get in an emotionally abusive relationship. And so I spell all those out, and I also have stories that illustrate the effects of emotional abuse so people can recognize them.
Hmm.
And then the third part of the book is how to protect yourself, what to say in an interaction that you feel is abusive. I have three quizzes. Are you in an emotionally abusive relationship? Uh, are you contributing to that mistakenly? Not trying to, but are you contributing to that abuse by enabling the abuser? And what are the effects on you? And each one of those quizzes has about 35 questions. And I get emails from people saying, oh my gosh, 25. I answered 25 of these questions. Yes, I need to get into therapy. But it gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on in your relationship. So that's the third part of my book. And treatment. I say something about treatment as well.